right, SML. Welcome back to a special edition of Bushwhacker Breakdown after the debacle of the draft. We brought Dan back on for this mock draft. Hopefully, this doesn't crash too. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing pretty good, Bomber. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind the last few days, but glad to do something productive tonight.
Yeah, I think everybody was pretty down after the draft, and I think you can kind of feel it in chat. People are a little excited about the opportunity to redo a team draft. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see a lot of surprises or a lot of the same teams?
I would guess 75% to 85 of new teams. I think most people that didn't have a good first two seasons want something fresh, and the guys that kind of built well but kind of said I don't want to have to build again are going to look fresh too. So I think the only people that stay with the same teams are kind of stuck in that spot, like where they're picking and it's only the best team left, so they just take them anyways.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's start with first pick, and we'll just work our way down. We'll try to keep it right around 30 minutes so we can release it around 6. But first pick's Prime. Obviously, every team draft, this is a big deal. I've got Prime taking the Chiefs. I think he wants to. He's got some unfinished business there in KC. He took the Chiefs, best team in the game, arguably, and didn't get the job done. So I think he goes back there.
Yeah, I think he wants something different. I think he realized he's not a high volume passer, as you saw even with his late run. He was more defense, more run. So I think he's going to go that route, and I've got him going big with the Washington football team. I think that would be a good match for his style right now. And I think he just wants something new this whole cycle, and then he'll go back to the Colts in 2000, the Madden 23. So I'm going Washington.
All right. So with that, I went at the second pick. I honestly still at 6. It's 5:35. I still have no idea who I'm taking. But coming into the last team draft, it was Browns, Bears, or Washington, and I don't think I'm going to go back to the Browns just because I don't want to redo what I did. And it sucks because I really liked that team, but I don't know if I want to redo it. So I'm going to go with Washington as my pick here for now. I think just that defense, the quarterback, my God, they're awful, but it'll be something to do, something to figure out. So I'm going with Washington. It's you.
Yeah, I could see that as well. But since the fact I put Prime at Washington, I had to go with Bears for you, and I stuck with the same thing, the top three teams you had before this cycle, and figured that you weren't going to go back to the Bears as well, or the Browns, as well, because you wanted something new. So I got you trying out the Bears and enjoying playing with Fields, your Buckeye buddy there.
Yeah, I could see that. I've definitely practiced with just about every team today, so anything's in play. But if that happens, I've got Mike taking the Browns at number 3. I think that's a good team for him with Baker's already. He's fairly young. He's developed enough to where he can get him to superstar like he did with Carr. And then obviously the whole team is there. So it's not much he has to do except build them up.
Yeah, no, I think you look at guys that have been vocal about not wanting to do the things again. Mike was one of those guys that doesn't want to have to rebuild a quarterback. So I can definitely see that. I actually I'm trying to pull my thing up wrong. Where did I have Mike going?
The Colts.
Oh, okay. See, so here's what my thought on that one though was. I think he knows that this is his one and only shot for the Colts. So he knows Prime's going back to them, and I think he still stays with the Colts, even though his quarterback was bad. I just think he's going to make a quicker move this year instead of trying one season out with the Colts quarterbacks.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe right some of the wrongs. Speaking of righting the wrongs, I've got Woods taking the Cardinals with the next pick. Woods forever searching for a quarterback. He's going to get Kyler Murray, X Factor, escape artist, great defense, especially the user with Simmons. I think this is a perfect fit. I just wonder how long Kyler Murray will be there before he gets rid of him too.
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. I think he's going quarterback heavy, and I think the Cardinals make 100% sense for him.
All right, so then we got Meats. Now, I made this up before I saw Meats' video. I gave him the Dolphins. I think he's going back because he buys a jersey for every team, and I don't think he had enough time to buy a jersey for this one. So I got him still going to the Dolphins. Of course, then he made a video of him putting the jersey away, but I could see him staying with the Dolphins here.
Yeah, I went with Bills. I think he's going to try to go for that OP ability and the escape artist, and I think he actually takes them in a preemptive move to make sure Faz does not get him.
Okay. So then MYT with the next pick, I haven't taken the Ravens. He did mention something about going back to Baltimore. So I could see him taking the Ravens here, and obviously Lamar Jackson. He's familiar with him. He didn't really like passing with him before, but maybe he changed his mind this time.
Yeah, if you're not the Browns, I could see that. If he's got Mike F&M as the Browns, I could see him going to the Ravens. I kind of like the Niners for him. I think that matches up with his style, especially since Washington's off the table. And if Woods is a Cardinal, those two buddies can shack up all cycle long.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think next we have Grams, the Cowboys. We both have that. I don't think there's any doubt
Correct.
That's going to be there. I have
put
Coop.
Put the mortgage on that one.
Yeah, I have Coop going back to the Jags. I think he liked ETN. I think he liked what he was building there. So I have him taking the Jags again. Still there?
Sorry about that. My dog just went off. I tried to mute it quick.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So we're talking about Coop. I don't think Coop wants any part with the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. I think he wants to stay away from them. I think he's going with a heavy quarterback, and if Prime doesn't go Chiefs, I think Coop's going Chiefs and going to enjoy Mahomes.
All right, so we're the same on this one. We've both got Faz going the Panthers. I think he may be a little concerned with quarterback, but if anybody is a good passer, it's Faz, and I think he could probably be most likely to make do with what he's got until he can either dev him up or get one. But the big thing there is that cornerback room. They added Gilmore and CJ Henderson, so you're looking at 5 or 6 serviceable cornerbacks there. So I think that's going to be a good team. He's going to have the pass rush. The defense is completely built. Speed on the outside. McCaffrey. All he's got to worry about is a quarterback.
Yeah, if anyone's going to look for the best team and take the best option, even though he classifies himself as a top-tier player, it's going to be Faz. So that's why I went with the Panthers. He's going to take the best team on the board, and he'll figure out the rest.
All right, I've got Tiny taking the Eagles. He's been pretty vocal about wanting to go back to the Eagles. And with 3 first-round picks, why not? So I've got him still going with the Eagles.
Yeah, the only thing I like that. The only thing different I saw with there is that the Browns are still on the table, and I don't think someone like Tiny could pass up having Chubb and Freight Train, and so I actually have him taking the Browns.
Okay. I've got next. I've got you taking the Steelers. I don't know if you'd follow Mike and MYT to the AFC North. Usually you follow one of the Simbardi winners, but I've still got you taking them just because they're your favorite team, and maybe there's a little bit of sentimental feelings towards that, and you just take your Steelers.
Yeah, they're definitely on the table, but like you said, I'm going to look at division first. So if divisions fall out this way, I kind of went after Prime last time. I went after QB Stud. Nobody in the NFC North really excites me if I think you're the Bears. So I'm going to a little off the wall wild card Atlanta Falcons, and I'm heading down to the dirty South because I want a little piece of Faz the rest of this cycle.
I like that pick because we've seen tight ends be kind of a big deal early in the cycle, and Kyle Pitts, obviously the best tight end, at least youngest to develop. So I think that's a good pick. Next up, I got DW. I think he's jumping up and down to get this pick in, but I think it's the Bills. He played him twice a year, saw what Faz did firsthand with Josh Allen, and I think he runs up there to get the Bills.
Yeah, the only thing different I would disagree on that is I don't think the Bills fit his style. So I went with the Bengals. I think they're a young, up-and-coming team. I think Mixon fits right in. I think that defense will be good for him. So I think he's going Cincinnati Bengals, even a little bit of that close to Cleveland, Kentucky area. I think the Bengals are a draw for him.
I thought of that with Mixon, but being a Browns fan, I don't know if he'd want to take the Bengals. So next up, I've got KJ. I've got KJ taking the Giants twofold on this. Number one, him and Tiny can stay in the same division. And number two, I'm not even sure if KJ knows that the league went under. So they may just assign him the Giants and tell him to just rejoin. I'm not sure.
That's pretty funny. But I actually went with the same logic as you. But since I had Tiny taking the Browns, I have KJ taking the Ravens just to keep the brothers together. So.
Okay, next I've got Fig. I've got Fig taking the Bucks. He gets Tom Brady. He gets a team that's ready to go. He's got some good receivers. Maybe not the speed he quite wants, but he's got plenty to trade there. And we know Figs likes to trade. So I've got him taking the Bucks.
Yeah, I went with the Pats, and I just think there's a part of him, that hometown team there, and maybe he just wants a break from trading, so he'll take the Pats where no one's going to really come beating down his door for trades.
That's true. All right, we've got Matt. Both of us have the same thing. Matt with the Titans. He complained about the Titans' defense already. Said it wasn't good enough. I Matt always talks about these OP abilities, and I wonder if he just avoids it just so he can continue to talk about how he would be great if he had him. Because I say just
Yeah,
do it and prove it.
I picked him as well too because of Henry, but then again, Tanny just fits right in line with Haskins, so we'll spend about 3 seasons hearing about how great Tanny is and what a great deal he is.
All right, so after Matt, we've got Field. I've got Field taking the Colts. I don't know if he's quite the Colts fan that Prime is, but I assume he's got at least a little bit of loyalty to the Colts, and I'm gonna have him take the Colts here.
Yeah, I went with Seattle because I think he wants a quarterback. I think he was struggling in Tennessee without one. And looking on the board, he could go Chargers here. That could be an option. Could go Dolphins, but I think the DK Wilson connection fits right up his style. So I'm going to go Seattle here.
I actually had him taking the Chargers until I realized the Colts were still on the board, and that's when I switched it. Next up is Dump. I think we have similar picks for the same reason. I picked the Jets, number one, multiple first-round picks. They've already got a quarterback. Zach Wilson's more than good enough to build with. We saw DW take them to the playoffs in a division that had Meats and Faz. The second reason, though, for me is because I think that's where Meats is going to be. I think he's going to be the Dolphins, and I think he's going to follow Meats.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good logic there. I would just went Eagle more for the rebuild. I think he kind of enjoys that a little bit more, getting younger guys, kind of spamming them up. I did forget that Prime was in that division. I know he's been in a division with Prime before, so I think you're right. He might want to choose kind of one of his whipping boys, Tiny or Meats, over that. But either way, he's going to build a younger team up this year than take a Cardinals team.
Yeah. So next up we have Paulie. I've got Paulie taking the 49ers. He's been trying to, I don't know what he's been trying to do to Figs or what he's offered to do to Figs for Trey Lance, but I think he just, with what's on the board, he sees Trey Lance there and he might as well just take him.
Yeah, I think that's pretty funny that he's been saying that. I both of us actually have Paulie getting a really good team, which there's a part of me that wishes that wasn't the case. I actually had him going Chargers though, just because if there's one guy in the league that's going to be kind of a little jag off to the owner right behind him, which is QP, it would be Paulie. So I could see Paulie sniping the Chargers right in front of QP. And unfortunately, the Chargers only have like about 5 real life fans, and QP is one of them. But that wouldn't stop Paulie from taking him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got QP taking the Chargers, like you said, with the very next pick. Obviously, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I don't know how much hatred he has for division mates, but I thought the Broncos might be a good team for his style. Obviously, they got to get a quarterback, but they got weapons. And then he could spend the whole cycle just beating up on Paulie.
Yeah. Next up, I've got Finn's taking the Vikings. I did this because I thought last cycle he had his best success. Obviously, it's only last cycle in this one. But he had that running back that was good, and he had a good receiver. And I think if he takes the Vikings, he's got Dalvin Cook, and then he's even got that Kene and Nagwaga, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He'll have both of them at running back, and then he's got Justin Jefferson, Thielen. He's got some weapons there on offense, and I think maybe that'll give him the best chance to kind of get back to where he was at least last cycle.
Yeah, I think that's a good team for him. And in my mock though, the Dolphins were still there. That's his favorite team. So if that would be the case, he's going to run to the podium for that one.
So the next pick, I've got Future taking the Saints. I just think with Kamara there, that's a big name that he can use. The defense is pretty good, and based off what's left, I think the Saints are probably the best team for him.
Yeah, I was thinking the same way. I took the Saints too.
All right. Noel's up next. I have Noel taking the Seahawks again. And my reason is last cycle he was the Bills and he was awful. No other way to put it. This cycle he takes the Seahawks. He gets a running game going with Carson. Based on what's on the board still, I think he goes right back to the Seahawks and tries to rekindle what he had to begin the cycle.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. If Seahawks are still there, I think he does take him. I think you're right on all that. I went with the Giants. He was talking a little bit in chat about them. I think he believes he can make Barkley the same as Carson, and I could see him taking the Giants if the Seahawks aren't there.
Absolutely. Barkley, I mean, everybody's talking about, he lost his abilities, but it's not like he's not going to get them back in like a season and a half.
Correct.
So that gives us Colt 45. Wild card. Took the Rams last cycle. Last draft. Had no clue that was coming because I didn't think they fit him. Another team that I'm not sure even fits him, but they got Justin Fields, so he'll have a quarterback. When he had a chance to draft a quarterback last cycle, he took that Joe Green with a 90 speed. Basically, it's Justin Fields. So I think he's going to take the Bears for that reason. And then he'll worry about tight end. He's got a young one in Komet, and then he's got like 4 halfbacks he can throw to.
Yeah, this is a wild card as well too. I think looking at his style, you got JT Taylor, or you got JT there with the Colts I picked, and then he's got they got a younger tight end. So, but this could be anywhere. I really had no clue the last 10 picks who Colt would take.
Yeah, another guy I don't really have a clue with because he took the Bengals 2 seasons ago. This year he took the Falcons. I've got him taking the Broncos, and it's 2-step. And it's really just a shot in the dark. I think maybe he looks at the roster. He doesn't want the Falcons again, and I think that one looks like the most fun.
Yeah, I just thought he's looking at maybe some of the best players on the Rams and see what he can do with that. But again, yeah, you're right. I mean, taking the Falcons was kind of wild card play last year, and I'm not sure what he'd do here. So, all
right. So next up, we got Clink, and this one to me was one of the easier ones with the teams that were left. I gave him the Lions. I think everybody's complained about the Lions. Number one, we saw what QP did with the Lions in just 2 short seasons.
Still trying to remember his name, right?
Yeah, the new guy. So we saw what QP did with the Lions in 2 seasons. I mean, it was only adding a couple pieces. You've got 4 draft picks, whether you want to trade them, keep them, whatever. And from what I remember about Clink, he's the guy that likes to team build. Now, he doesn't have much to trade there other than those picks, but blank slate, couple nice pieces in the secondary especially. You got Hawkinson, Swift. So I think that's a good fit for him, and I think he'll go with the Lions.
Yeah, I think that's a good fit too. I think actually in our first mock draft of the cycle, I had the Lions for him. He does like to build teams. So the only reason I didn't pick the Lions for him is because you're the Bears in my mock. So I thought he might just be choosing division a little bit more. And right now the AFC North was a little more wide open. So I have him taking the Steelers.
All right. So I've got next up is Spooky. I've got him taking the Rams. Tons of talent on that team, speed everywhere between Atwell and Beckham, and then Cooper Kupp is your nice little possession guy. I say possession guy, but he's an X factor too. He likes the throw power. He's got Stafford with a 95 throw power now. And then the defense obviously stacked at least for the first couple seasons. And remember, we're only playing probably 4 or 5 seasons, maybe 6.
Yeah.
So the older guys maybe not as big of a deal, especially guys like in that Beckham range where they're like 28, 29.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're both thinking the same thing though in strong arm quarterbacks. So you got Stafford, you got Brady. I had for the Bucks. I think he wants nothing to do with some of these noodle arm quarterbacks. So he's going to go strong arm quarterback.
All right. So next up is ZZ. We've actually both got him taking the Texans. I'm pretty sure that's his favorite team. I know he didn't want to have to rebuild them, but when you look at what's left and then you have your favorite team there, the odds of one of those other 6 being or other 5 being more appealing, probably going to go with the Texans.
Yeah, that's the same logic based on what was left. I think hometown team wins.
All right. D-Muse sitting there bottom 5. I think he's a little disappointed he doesn't get the Saints, but I think the Falcons are a good pick for him. He may not want to go with without a quarterback, but looking at the rest of them, you've got Aaron Rodgers is old. You've got Mac Jones and Joe Burrow both with the noodle arm. And then maybe he goes Raiders, but there's not really anything else on the Raiders except that tight end. And I think the Falcons are actually a solid team that could go anywhere on the order. I don't think Prime takes them, but anything 2 down, I think could go Falcons just because of Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I obviously Falcons were gone in mine, but
Yeah.
I have the Jags. I just think there's too much young talent for him to pass at this stage, and I think on paper Trevor Lawrence looks like the real deal. Now, Coop might tell you something differently, but he looks good, so I think he's going to buy into that.
All right, I've got Jay Smoove taking the Packers. Reunites with A-Rod. He traded a second to get him for 1, maybe 2 seasons. I think he said something about he doesn't usually have a good quarterback, and then he had Rodgers. And I think maybe that's out of the 3 teams left or 4 teams left. I think that's probably the one that's the most appealing. The cap will be an issue, but he made some interesting moves in Vegas and was able to turn that into a pretty good team. I think he can do the same with the Packers.
Yeah, so I got the last 3 of the last 4 primer posse boys going NFC North: Vikings, Packers, Lions. I think you could probably throw those teams up in the air and they'd all land on different spots every time, because I could see all 3 of them just choosing something different. But I think it's interesting that if you're the Bears and no one else wants to mess with the NFC North until we get to the primer posse. But any Vikings, Packers, Lions for the last 3, I could see them switching around.
That NFC North has probably got some of the least appealing teams. I mean, Fields is the only real bright spot on that Bears team. Maybe Khalil Mack, just because we're later on, and then Roquan Smith isn't bad, but he's only star. So that's kind of a crappy division anyway. Surprised it was so good the first 2 seasons.
Well, it didn't go early either, though.
It didn't.
I think Future was the first pick with the Bears,
Yep.
and then the rest were after that. So I think it's going to follow suit the same way.
I've got Bean taking the Patriots. I'm pretty sure that's his favorite team. I could be wrong, but he's got the Patriots now. I think maybe he likes Damian Harris and what he's been doing there, so I think maybe he sticks with them.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. And for me, again, it's just any one of these NFC North teams for these guys.
All right. Spades, I've got the Bengals. I think he's pretty happy that this team falls to him because
great team.
Great running back and a solid quarterback. Maybe not the arm he wants, but he can figure that out, and the rest of the team's pretty solid.
Yep.
And then the last pick, we've actually got exactly the same. The Raiders, with no Ruggs, I don't think they're even anywhere near the top 31 teams. I think they're a pretty solid 32.
Yeah, I think some teams might jump because of Waller, maybe because of Jacobs, some of their D-line. But, to me, especially, again, depending on how the AFC North or AFC West goes, do you want to end up being kind of a Finn situation there? And so I think the Raiders are going to be one of the bottom teams for sure.
Yeah. All right, so that's our mock draft. We did hit it under 30 minutes. So we nailed that. We'll try and get this out. Hopefully this can drop before 6:30. It's just about 6 now. So you have a little bit of time to listen to it. And then we will see everybody at the team draft at 8 o'clock. So exciting times in the SML for sure.
Let's get lit, SML. It's time to get going.
All right. See everybody there.